seen you live a couple of times. So, um, you guys are incredibly entertaining. It's always great. And I've only ever seen you guys as a support act. Um, and you guys are incredibly entertaining, and it's always a good time watching you guys play. So, I just want to jump into the last time I saw you guys were supporting Eagles of Death Metal. I'm sure you've done a million things since then. Tell us a bit about what you've been up to for the last year or so.
Well, we just finished a 2 month European tour.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, before that, touring Australia pretty relentlessly. Seems to never end, really, in the best possible way. But yeah, no, the European tour was a resounding success and a bunch of festivals, and it was like 85% sold out shows, and it was our first time over there. So just taking the music to the people and making hay while the sun shines. Really, it's been great.
Yeah. I think you guys have sort of struck a bit of a chord with a lot of people because um, a lot of people I know are really stoked to see you guys when you guys do a support. So I guess that's flowed over to you guys being a bit more being a headliner as well.
I mean, well, we've been doing our own headline shows for years and years now, but we're always thankful when we get sort of those opportunities like Eagles of Death
Mm.
Metal and stuff, to sort of get it to a new group of fans and hopefully convert them into a new group of fans.
And that's
So it
absolutely
was
right.
wicked. Yeah, no, definitely. And the European tour was sort of nearly like 95% all our own shows, and then some festivals, and then supporting the Darkness at Warwick Castle, which was a
That would have been
great sort of
fabulous.
oh, it was unreal. So exposed us to a whole bunch of new fans over there, but it was just wild going over there. And when we're doing all our own shows, I mean, the first one sold out in 4 days, and we had to upgrade the venue to more than double the size, and then that sold out as well. So
That's
it's
amazing.
yeah, it's a surreal feeling, and it's just bloody great to be a part of at the minute.
Yeah. I'm genuinely stoked for you guys because I think you guys
Oh,
have
thanks, mate.
been running like you guys have been in the trenches and you've really done the hard work to get to where you are now. So let's talk about your tours with the Darkness. I couldn't think of a better support act for the Darkness than you guys were. Um, while not being the same, you guys sort of had the same vibe. And I think you had a lot of people walk away from your Australian shows with the Darkness, at least, with a whole pile of new fans. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the opportunity that they've given us multiple times now. They continue to
Yeah,
do so. They're such fucking great people,
yeah.
and it is. I think we've become great friends with them as well, and I think we do share like a. There's a very very similar essence there. I think it's kind of that unspoken. It's the vibe you're on. But
Yep.
it mends fucking well, and to be able to do that, in Australia and then go over into their backyard in the UK and do it with them, and we play with them at Sweden Rock as well,
Yep.
and doing that over there, it's fucking great, and I think that people really do pick up on that. Like I said, the vibe, if you will.
Yeah. So moving on to that, so I'm guessing that my next question was you've done some amazing support slots. What has been your favorite? Um, would I hazard a guess at possibly the darkness?
I mean, they're all great in their own ways. They're all great. I mean, the darkness thing for what that's turned into. Growing up, idolizing them, being one of your favorite bands, and then getting to, essentially play around the world with them and get up on
Mhm.
stage with them and play songs that you were listening to when you were fucking 12 and shit like that.
Yep.
That's unreal. And then supporting, Cold Chisel, which we did in 2020, I think, was an
Yep.
absolute dream come true. That was something that I never thought, would get to see happen or whatever. And seeing the Southern River band name on the same poster as Cold Chisel was pretty fucking awesome. So they're all unreal. Same with Eagles of Death Metal and everything.
Yep.
It's all just a great experience. But obviously, what the Darkness one has blossomed into is pretty special.
Yeah. Um, so also I'm always curious to ask people what is their favorite band to have ever they've ever seen live? The thing that made them like the thing that made you want to be in a band.
Yeah, so I guess that would be my earliest living memory, and this is literally as I'm alive now, was watching Steve Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble live at the Elmer Combo on VHS.
Yep.
And that's kind of, I think from that moment on, that was just what I was going to do. You
Yep.
know, I've sort of been playing in bands since I was 10, I think,
Mm-hmm.
9 or 10, something like that. And so it's always just kind of been, there wasn't like because I come from a musical family as well.
Yep.
I think it was very much in the blood. And so that I haven't really deviated from that path. But I can't really think of been a bunch of good ripper shows. I think probably Chisel when we supported them was
Yep.
fucking unreal. And then when we were, over in Sweden Rock, seeing some of those bands, like getting to see the fucking Black Crows and everything, that was surreal as well.
Yep.
But yeah, if you were to go back to the first gig, it was ACDC when I was 10, 9 or 10,
Yep.
with the Living End supporting it at the Burswood Dome. So that was kind of,
That would have been amazing.
unreal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I also want to tap into the fact that you've never shied away from your roots. So you guys are from Thornley in WA. Um,
Yep.
and uh, I just want to sort of talk about the WA music situation. There are some amazing bands coming out of WA, yourselves included. And I think that there isn't the isolation that used to happen. So in the 90s, it was sort of amazing to see, bands come out of WA. It's like, oh, how did they even manage to do that? Now I think it's easier. What do you think?
Well, I don't know about easier because it's pretty fucking expensive to take a touring party around the country now.
Yeah.
So you got to sort of get out and be willing to take that risk. And it's hard for every band trying to break through when you've got to take your show to the people and to
Mm-hmm.
get the money behind you to be able to do that. I mean, obviously, with the internet, people can discover you a bit more. But for a
Mm-hmm.
band sort of in our lane, there's no sort of traditional media that's like radio and shit like that. Aren't really haven't really been tools for us as
Mm-hmm.
such. So you got to take that punt and hope that it clicks with the people. So that's thankfully for us. And I mean we've been touring pretty relentlessly, but yeah.
Yeah. I've I found you guys obviously from doing support for other bands. Um,
Yep.
and I think that you guys put on such a damn good show. No one walks away from a Southern River Band show thinking, oh no, that nah. I think that everybody
I'm
walks
sure
away
there's
from
one
it.
or two. I'm sure there's one or two dickheads out there that do, but
Well, they're just not
no, we
trying
always
hard enough.
no, or they're trying hard to hate it. I think, and that's
Yeah.
our thing. We just try to go up there. The energy transfer is it's a very powerful thing, and we just try to go and have the best time, and hopefully that translates to people, and I think in most cases it does, because
Hmm.
there's nothing better than looking out and seeing people smiling back. That's kind of our modus operandi, if you will. So
Yeah.
it's I think the good time thing really resonates with people, and it's such a fucking great thing to be a part of when you see people smiling back at you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that I think that is what probably keeps a lot of people going, including yourself, is you see that person who's having a ripper of a time in the shop in the crowd, and you think, yep, even if I just played for that one person, it makes it worth
Absolutely.
it. um,
Absolutely. When people come up to you after showing that and you see them genuinely smiling, going, they're better off for the time being than they were before they got there.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it. Um, so let's talk about influences. Um, so what have been some of your biggest musical influences?
Well, like I said, Steve Ray Vaughan and Double
Yep.
Trouble. It's probably, I have a, it's hard to say when people go, oh, what's your number one or whatever. I've just got like a well, what I'm into at certain times. And, when I get
Hmm.
really into a band, I get really into the band. But be like Stevie Ray, AC/DC, Leonard Skinner,
Yep.
Van Halen, Bob Seger, the Eagles, um, Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and shit like that when I was younger. But
Yep.
yeah, those cold chisels probably as it gets on the list. I can't think of a fucking better band ever to exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, just all that sort of shit, and it changes, because you just sort of go back through everything and draw a little bit from so much. I mean, I was listening to fucking Dean Martin dance with my parents last night, so shit
Yeah.
like that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I get asked that same question, obviously being in the music industry and being an editor of a magazine. Um, I often get, oh, what's your favorite band? It's like, can I have 10? You
Yeah,
know?
and it changes every day. Well, not
Yes.
every day, but you go through your phase, and sometimes it's good. You have those bands that you've sort of been tied to your whole life, and it's
Mm,
good to go away from them for a while, and then you come back in, you get this feeling. It's like a warm hug. You're like, oh, that's right. This is so fucking awesome.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the upcoming tour. You've said that you've been touring pretty relentlessly. You've just got back from Europe. What can
Yep.
we expect? New music, new act?
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say new act. There isn't really an act with us. It's sort of we just get up and do what we do, and
Hmm.
I don't think that'll ever change. There's no sort of choreography involved in that, but now we've got a few new songs, and obviously we're playing all the ones off the album DIY, which is out on Friday.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just going to be a few new songs, but yeah, the same sort of Southern River Band intent, which is just a fucking damn good time.
Yep. So the album on Friday, when on earth did you find time to record an album?
We did it in January, I think. Was it January or December? Because Dan, our guitarist, produced it,
Hmm.
and he runs a recording studio, Rada, in Perth.
Hmm.
So we just went in all together, got down in a room, and just laid it down like a rock and roll band in the studio. And yeah, it only took about 2 or 3 days, I think, and then just getting it all mixed up. We definitely had a deadline though, because once we were getting ready to go to Europe to get it all mastered and get all this
Hmm.
shit, I think we had like a day to spare before we could actually make sure that everything was going to line up to be able to get it out this Friday. In
Yep.
between, being on the other side of the world and all that sort of shit. So,
Hmm.
as most things do, we were cutting it fine, but yeah, it's all come together honestly pretty easily compared to other experiences that we've had with it. So
Yep.
it's been a bloody ripper, to be honest.
So this one was a little bit more, I guess, self-produced,
I
or have
mean,
you always been
yeah,
self-produced?
we've done them all with Dan, but this was the first time as a band we were able to actually get all in the studio together, set up in a room, and play as a rock and roll band.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, there was lots of times where it's different ways of doing it or whatever, but we wanted to go in and like this was the record that we've always wanted to make as the band, and we've got the unit there where we were firing because we were touring so much. It
Hmm.
was just bang straight in there, and because you got to everyone's got their chops up when you're playing all the time.
Yep.
And I think that shines through on the record. The vibe is there again, Your Honor.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's the end of the questions that I have for you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today, Cal. And I
No,
look
thank
forward
you
to
for doing this for us.
no, that's okay. And I look forward to seeing you when you play in Brisbane.
Absolutely. I mean, what is that next week or the week after?
I think it's the week after. You've got a little bit of downtime, although you might be playing in between.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I just go right. Once it starts, and yeah, I haven't really had any sort of track of time or day since we got back from Europe. So thanks for the reminder, there, mate.
Yeah. Have you got somebody who tells you where you need to be?
I just know. I know the album comes out on August 16th, and the first show of the tour is the 22nd. So
Yep.
I'm just kind of always in a position to be ready to sort of
Yep.
act on whatever that is, and just
Got the
remember
ready
two key
bag.
dates, and then yep. I'm not really a calendar kind of guy.
Yeah. I had to become a calendar person when I started this job. Or else people get mad at
Oh
me
yeah,
forgetting things.
yeah,
So
yep. No,
yeah.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I do often hold people back, but go, oh, I must have missed that one, and I'm not really too assimilated at the modern technological world where everything's
Hmm.
intertwined. But I'm giving it a go.
Yeah. And one day you might have enough money you can pay someone to tell you where you need to be.
Well, that's the dream, to be a sort of adult baby
Yep.
is. a lifelong goal of mine, and
You know,
you know, but
you've
maybe
got to
one
have
day.
time to do the things that make you happy, right?
Fucking oath, 100%. I was talking to my friend last night about it, and it's the you know, people say the strive for balance, you know, which is balance is just the never-ending strive for it. And if you don't, you know, blow off your steam and you know, sort of
Do
try
things you
to
love.
have that time away, yeah, it's yeah, it's vital to the SRB experience as well. I can tell you that.
Excellent. Well, thank you for talking to me today.
Thank
I
you so much, mate.
and as I said, hopefully see you in Brisbane when you play.
Absolutely, we'll be there. I'll be the guy that looks like me.
Okay, excellent. I'll look for you.
Awesome, mate. All right, thank you very much.